Do you want to learn how to make graphic designs, or you are a graphic designer and you just want to level up your skill in graphic designing, like you want to really make amazing flyers, logos, just name them? Then this video is for you, because in this video I'll be taking you through the step-by-step processes which you need in order to become a professional graphic designer. I know that is what you've been looking for. So if this sounds like what you want, then hold on, pick your laptop and let's get started. And don't forget, my name is Elijah Comfort, and in this channel I teach you how you can make use of Photoshop and all the Photoshop tools in order to make amazing and beautiful designs. So subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification so that you don't miss out on my videos, which I post every Tuesday by 7 p.m. So I know you won't like to miss it. So let's get started. Thank you.
So for us to design this church flyer, what we are going to do now is to click on create new. When you click on create new, it might take a bit time to bring out where you can set up your workspace. So now we have this. What we are going to do now is to make here our width is going to be 1080, our height 1080. Then we are going to be measuring in pixels, and our resolution will be 300. Then our color mode will be RGB color. Then you click on create. Once you click on create, it will bring out this workspace. So the first thing we are going to do on this workspace is to insert our background. So you just go and find your background wherever you save it. I'll just click here and I save all my images and backgrounds under document. So this is the particular background I want to use. I'll just click on it and drag it to my Photoshop. So now I have it on my Photoshop. I'll take it up. Yeah, this is okay. So the next thing is I want to join two backgrounds together. So I'll just stick and bring that one. So this is it here. This is the particular background I want to join together with it. I'll select it and drag it to my Photoshop too. And then I'm going to make this bigger. So I'm going to bring my rule. Let me bring down my rule so that let me still make this big. So I think it's okay like this now. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to give this image a clipping mask. So I'll just come here, click on it, give it a clipping mask. Then I will make sure that here is black. You have to make sure that here is black so that you can select your brush tool. I'll select my brush tool and I'll set up the brush to just the size. Always make sure that your brush tool, that the hardness is 0. Always make sure that the hardness is 0. Then you can make it anyhow you want it. You can increase the size or reduce it depending on what you want. But in this condition, I'm going to increase the size. So I'll just come here and I'll do this. I'll just do this. So let me see how it's looking. So this way now, I think it's better like this. So the next thing now is to bring in the image of the minister I'm going to be using. So I'll just click here and I'll go and find his image wherever I keep it. So this is the particular image I want to use. I'll click on it and drag it to my Photoshop. So but it has a background. I have to remove the background. For you to remove the background, you click on here and you will select, make sure that you are selecting magic wood tool. Then you click on select subject. It might take a bit time to load when you click on select subject, but just be patient with it. So now it has selected the object I want to make use of. It has selected it. Then I'll click on Ctrl J to duplicate. Then I'll come to this layer. I'll click on the down one, the first image. I'll delete it. So now you see what happened as we delete it now. So for us to know where we can place this particular image, there is something we have to do, which is bringing in our rulers. So for us to bring in our rulers, we just come here, you go to view, you scroll down to new guide layout and you click on OK. So you see our rulers are here now. So with this we can actually know where to place our image. So now our ruler has helped us to know where to place our image. Like I just want the image to be like the head of the minister to just be on this line. So and that is what the ruler is helping us to do now. So the next thing we are going to do now is to blend here to make this place to rhyme with the background. So you just make sure you are selecting the particular image layer, then you put a clipping mask. Then you go and select your brush tool and always make sure that here is black. This brush tool is big. I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to reduce the size. So I think it's okay like this. Then we use this to go through it. So now we've used this to go through it. It's okay like this. You see the image is now blending with the background. So you click here, and the next thing we are going to do now is to add another image. I want to bring in, since it's a church program, I want to bring in an image of like people in a church here. So I'll just click here and go and find such image wherever I save it. So this is the image I want to use. I'll click on it and drag it to my Photoshop, and here is it. I'll bring it here, but then I don't want it to be showing like this. So because of that, I'll click here, then I'll come to this place that they wrote normal. I'll click on it and I will select soft light. I'll select soft light, and then as it has blended with the background now, but there is something we still need to do. Like I need to reduce the fill. I'll come to this place, I'll reduce the fill. Let's make the fill about 60. So it's now okay. I think it's perfect this way. So the next thing we are going to do now is to bring in our text. So we are going to type. So for us to type now, you come here. So I want it to be above. I will select I'll select this image, then I'll click here and select my text to click here, and I will start typing. So now I'm done typing. I'm going to increase the size. For us to increase the size, you come here. Remember, the name of the font we are using is called Montserrat. So you come here, let's increase the size to about 30 something. I think this is okay. 36. So I think this is okay like this. So what we'll do now is to bring in, you see what the rule does, because I've brought this ruler here so that I will just start putting my text here. You see, the ruler helped me to know the exact place. So what I'll do now is to click Ctrl A, and then I'll come here so that I can align it. I'll click Ctrl D to deselect. So now I've clicked on Ctrl D to deselect. The next thing I'm going to do now is to double click. There are two ways you can do what I actually want to do now. There are two ways you can do them. There are two main ways you can do them. So it depending on the method you want to use on it. So you can actually come here and you double click on it, and it will bring out the this place, the blending options. Or you just right click here and go to blending options. You click on it and it will still bring out the same thing. So what we are going to do now is I'll click here and I'll set it up anyhow I want it to be. I don't want the depth to be 100%. I want it to be around. So as you're setting it, you'll be looking at it. You'll be looking at it so that you will not make mistake. So I think this is okay. So down, you can select up, but I choose, let's use for the purpose of this class, let's use down. Then let's make it 51. So this is 51. Don't touch this soft because I don't want it to be soft. Okay, that is why we are not going to click on that. So that is why we are not going to click on that. Then you come here and also click on drop down shadow because I want it to have a kind of drop down shadow. So our drop down shadow, I think is too big. Let's reduce it to, the distance is too much. Let's reduce it to about 9 or 8 is okay. So here you make the opacity to be around 100. Then let's reduce the darkness. I want something lighter. I'll click on OK. Then the next thing we are going to do here now is to click OK because we've set what we want to set. Okay, so what we'll do now is I want this to have a kind of shining effect. So what I'll do is I'll make sure I'm selecting this particular layer. Then I'll come here and go and bring in my shining effect. So this is it. I'll click on it and drag it to Photoshop, bring it here. Make sure it's directly on top of this and it's covering it. Those are the things that you need to make sure you are doing like this. Then you click on here, then you come to this place, right click on this layer and create a clipping mask. So this is it perfectly. You saw what I did, right? So I also want us to bring in another. So I'll click on my text tool and I'll type Jesus. So now I've typed Jesus, I'll bring it here. And don't forget, we are still making use of Montserrat bold. Don't forget that. So let's increase this to about 48. I want it to be bigger, and I think it's okay this way. So let's bring it down a bit. Like this is okay now. So we'll click Ctrl A and then we'll come here and align it together with the background. So we'll now click Ctrl D to deselect. When you click Ctrl D to deselect, I will now come here and double click on it. It will bring out my blending options. I'll just click on them because we've set it up before. So there is no need of us setting it up again, depending on what you want, except when you want it to have a different pattern. So but this I just want it to be the same thing. So I'll click on my drop down shadow and I'll click on OK. So I'll still go and bring, so now I'm still selecting that Jesus. So I'll go and bring in that my shining effect. Click here. So this is the shining effect. I'll click on it, drag it to my Photoshop and bring it here. And I'll reduce the size. So this is so perfect. I'll right click on it and create a clipping mask. You see the magic? So I'll click on OK. So the next thing we are going to do now is I want to bring a kind of lightning effect here. So I'll just come here. I'll just click here. I'll go and look for the lightning effect I want to use. So this is it. Drag it to my Photoshop, bring it here. Then I'll come to this place. Make sure you click here. Then I'll come to this place that they wrote normal. I'll select screen. You see what I did? I selected screen. So let me reduce it. I want it somewhere kind of here. So I'll click on OK. So but then if I allow this light to be like this, it's going to be distracting me when I'll be typing some other things. So I'm going to deselect it. Then when we are done with the design, we can select it back. So I'll deselect it and I'll just come here. I want to type a text. So I'll come here, click on my text tool, click here. Then what I want to write is GUC. I'll come here, I'll reduce the size. I want to reduce the size of the GUC. So let me reduce the size to about 14. 14 will be okay. So here, let's make it a kind of 75 because I want it to spray out. So I'll just drag it to here. So I'll just click on the text tool and I'll type. I'm going to change the font. The name of the font we are using for this is Bribery Signature. So if you don't have it, you can actually download it and install it on your laptop. So let me change the color. I want the color to be a kind of, let's say, this. Is it okay? I think this is better. So I'll click on OK. I'll come here, click on bold because I want it to be bold a bit. So let me also reduce the size. I think it's too big. Let's make it 11. It's okay. So I'll bring it here. So for us to add the date, I just want it to look fancy anyway. So because of that, I'll just come here and I will click on my rectangular tool, select my rectangular tool, and I will draw a form of just a small rectangle here. Let me change the color. Despite I will still change it again. So this is okay. And then I'll come to the layer, double click on it. It will bring out this. I'll click here. As you can see, it's too much for this, so I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to reduce the depth. You see, I reduced the size to 10 and I reduced the depth to 84. So I'll give it a drop down shadow and I'll click on OK. So the next thing is to type in the date, which is, let me type 2023. So We are going to change the font back to Montserrat bold. So I want it to align together, so I'll just hold my shift key and select the both of them together with the rectangle, and I'll come here and align them. So this is perfect now. I'll come to this. I also want to give this a drop down shadow. Just come here. No, let's cancel it. Let's not give it a drop down shadow. It doesn't look good on a drop down shadow. So I'm going to write another date here. So let's change the font to Bibas New. The name of the font we are going to use for it is called Bibas New. Let me still increase this to 16. So the next thing now is I want to add a text here. Look unto Jesus. What I'll type now is the author and finisher of our faith. So I'll come here, click on this, select my text too, and I'll be back once I'm done typing. Here I will type venue. And I will increase the size to 10. Now I've increased it to 10. I'll bring it somewhere here. So I will double click on it and go to my blending options, select this, and I'll increase the depth, and I'll click on drop down shadow, click on OK. Then I'll still go and bring in my shining effect again. I'll still go and bring it in, drag it to my Photoshop, reduce the size, I'll right click here, create a clipping mask. So I will still do another typing. I'll put in the venue, which is on Facebook. And I'll reduce the size to 8. Click on my text to bring it here, and I'll type time. I'll double click on it and also give it this and also a drop down shadow and click on OK. So I'll bring in my shining effect again and just bring it to my Photoshop, and I'll reduce the size. I'll right click on it. I'll click here, then right click on the layer part, create a clipping mask, and that is it. So I need to type 9:30 p.m. Disclaimer: this video, the program is not holding anywhere. It's just, we did this video just for the purpose of learning. Okay, so all these things, all this time, all these things, they are not real, just fake. Go back and select our light effect, and I'll come here, click on this minister. I'll give it a drop down shadow, double click on it, click on drop down shadow. The reason why I'm giving it a drop down shadow is so that it can be visible a bit. Okay, I'll click on OK. So I'll come to this also, and I'll double click on it. I'll give it this and also a drop down shadow. I'll click on OK. So is there anything left anymore? As I always say, whenever you are done making any graphic design, always look around the design to make sure that everything is just the way you want it to be. So take a good look at this design, and if there is anything you think it's not there, don't forget to tell me. So what do you think right now? Tell me at the comment section what you think about this design. Actually, there is one thing we've not added, that is some lightning effects to here. I want it to have a kind of some lightning effect. So I'll just click here and go and get any of the lightning effects I love using. Okay, so this is the lights. I'll click on it, drag it to my Photoshop, bring it here. And I'll click here. So this is just okay now. I don't think there is any other thing remaining in this design. Okay, so subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can be getting amazing and powerful designs like this. And don't forget to like, comment and share so that YouTube can recommend this video for more people. The more you comment or like this video, YouTube will say yes, this video is good enough. Then he can he can show it out to more people to view. So don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for really sticking around to watch my videos. God bless you.